All right, so we're gonna review quickly how we get potable water. So potable water in the Chicago area pretty much comes from Lake Michigan, but otherwise it also can come from groundwater. And the water going into the treatment plant is called the influent. So influent means the flowing in. The very first thing they're gonna do is basically they have bar screens. The bar screens are just keeping things out like fish that might be in the pipes from the lake, sticks and other things like that. That's all it is. It really just protects the plant. From there, then the water goes, and essentially there's lots of different things that can happen, but the big idea, and so I'm gonna draw it like a big funnel, is basically TSS removal, okay? TSS or sediments or turbidity, and this can be done through a variety of things. This can be done through sand filtration. So everybody always wants to say, filter the water. Filtering will remove the particles or the TSS. It also can be done through settling. So let the water sit and the particles will settle out. Some small particles don't settle out, so sometimes what they'll do is they'll add a flocculant to it, and then they'll do flocculation, okay? And basically this is, they add a chemical so the particles so you have tiny little particles here, they all come together and stick together so then they can settle out. So there can be sand filtration, there can be settling, there can be flocculation. All of those, the bottom line is to remove the TSS. That's the point of them. What's the human health impact of TSS? Bacteria and heavy metals can stick to it. Then the next step in the process is going to be essentially some sort of disinfection, okay? What is disinfection? That is, kill the bacteria. They don't just kill, some bacteria is good. In fact, a lot of bacteria is actually good, but in the end, they have to kill bacteria. How do they kill the bacteria? They could add chlorine. So typically, they'll add chlorine because that's the cheapest, and they'll chlorinate, and then they'll actually remove some of the chlorine, which is called dechlorination, and leave just a little residual behind, because too much chlorine wouldn't be good, but leaving a little bit helps in case later on something maybe gets into the water system. It could theoretically protect us. So they could use chlorination to kill bacteria. They could use ozonation. That root word is ozone, so ozone is a strong oxidant which will kill the bacteria. They can also use UV radiation. All of those will kill the bacteria, and that will make it so the water is safe to drink. We typically use chlorination and then dechlorination with leaving the residual because it's the cheapest. Remember, the downfall of that is the chlorine can react with a little bit of BOD in the water and form THMs, which are linked to bladder cancer. So it's kind of funny, we go the cheap route and we could be causing more bladder cancer. This is basically what happens at a potable water treatment plant. In fact, let me write that over the top. There are some optional things that may happen, okay? These optional things, they might adjust the pH to keep the pipes from corroding. They may add fluoride, again, for teeth, so that we have a less tooth decay in the population. They may actually do aeration here, and the part of aeration here is to remove funny tastes and odors. So it's not funny tastes and odors. Funny tastes and odors, okay. And then at the very end of this process is, I'm gonna go right here, is the effluent. And where does this go to? This goes to people's homes. In an urban area, typically it's actually going to go to a water tower. The water tower is not to store water. The purpose of the water tower is actually to add pressure in the system so that the water flows. So the water comes in the bottom of your house, but it flows out of your second story faucet. Why is that? Because there's pressure in the system through gravity, typically added through the water tower. So this is a potable water treatment plant. And what happens? Big idea is we remove TSS and kill bacteria. Why? Because the purpose of potable water treatment is protecting human health. That is a potable water treatment plant.